Hello Hattrick friends, this is episode 123 of Let's Play Hattrick in San Marino with IngraValley. This episode will be featuring games from the first 2 weeks of the season. I was a bit busy over Easter and didn't get to record a proper episode last week, so a bit of a double episode here you could say. Special for this episode is part 2 of the league opponent analysis, where we will take a closer look at the opponents in round 4 of the league season. Let's start out by taking a look at the scouts call from Saturday. Let's see what the scouts have for us this week. 2 15-year-olds. Ooh, Samuele Matti. Passable scoring. Inadequate current winger. I think we go with Samuele. 15 years, 87 days. Looks like a mean fella. He could potentially be an interesting player. Let's stick him in the lineup against the Danish team. Samuele. Let's go for a double reveal actually. Trying to reveal winger and his current scoring ability in the same match. Scoring, winger, just like that. Excellent. Nice. Yeah, I must say, fairly pleased with this pull. It could be something interesting for sure. Hopefully we'll get a positive update on the game on Thursday when Samuele plays his first match. The round 4 opponents will be Club San Marino Uno. And let's just take a look at the statistics once more. They are also part of this middle pack. Let's just look back to the season before that. They might actually be among the stronger opponents this season on average. They are below us though, but it could be they bought a lot of strong players last season. They have also played in the 4th division, so these numbers might be quite off, simply because playing a lot of bots will give a strange picture of the strength. We did play in the strongest 4th division last year, so that's a good thing to remember. Let's take a look at some specific matches here in the analysis tool. We will look at this season's matches simply because the context is a bit blurry, I should say. In the first league round, they played Comando Terme, attack in the middle, which they often do. Let's just see the formation here. 2-5-3, strong central defense and strong center attack, and they don't seem to be changing a lot in that approach. Hopefully they'll keep doing this and we should be able to do something specific against both a central defense and a central attack. If they keep playing in this pattern, we should have a good idea of how to get some points in round 4, but we'll be playing them away from home and they are fairly strong in midfield. Certainly a step up from last season's opponents. That's what we expected. Hopefully we can do well. And that's it for the second part of the league opponent analysis this season. Round 1 in the Coppa Titano was against a bunch of bots. We played Crocus trees, won 7-0, and it was all about gaining some team confidence ahead of the league season and round 2 in the Cup. A hat-trick for Igor Becker. Sanotti joined him on the score sheet, as well as Trastuli and Benton and Volukis for 7-0 win. A perfect start to the season. Apart from a yellow card for Andros Sortic, we had no troubles in this match, so a fairly good start. Round 1 in the league against IngraValley Football Club, the toughest opponent this season, at least so far, looking at the statistics. We did get a single point played to a 0-0. We had a full house on the first day of the season, and that means I'm actually considering improving the size of the stadium already, but that could be because IngraValley is such a strong team as well. I'm still thinking about it. We played Divine 21 attack on the flanks and facing a titanic counter-attacking ability from the guests. They attacked down one side, and luckily for us they actually missed a single attack down the left. We also played a one-sided attack and we ended up facing the stronger defensive side of IngraValley. Perhaps it could have been better to attack down the left, but with a one-sided approach, and if you have to employ this kind of often, it might make sense to make a pattern of the coming matches, so you can't always just cherry pick the easiest side to attack. And all in all, it was a matter of 2 sub-levels. It's not like we faced a much higher defensive wall on the right attacking side. We ended up with 1 point, no hiccups besides the fact that we also missed a chance. On the right we only had 1, and that's perhaps a little unlucky for us, but that's how it is sometimes. Volukis could have been the man of the day there, but unfortunately he didn't take his chance when it was offered to him. Still a point against the strongest team in the league in my view. is a fairly good start to the season. Senior training this week was very slow. We had a few skill drops, and then on the form it's also not too positive, and I'll show you guys why in a moment when we look at the sheet. All in all, players are progressing so nicely, but if we look at this part of the sheet, which tells us about the form state, especially of the homegrown players, you'll see that it is falling, and we are facing a fairly big fall in TSI for Zanotti, almost 10,000 last week, Camallini 8,000 almost. Looks like Francione is about to go up again, which would be really positive. Obviously, we always hope these three players are in good form because they are so decisive to our performance, especially in the midfield, and you know midfield often is king in Hattrick. Lucas is in good form and increasing his TSI. Yeah, that's just really a positive. The defenders are still in good form, and you just love to see that. Hopefully the form will increase quite soon. We still have 9 weeks remaining of the scoring stint, and I'm not entirely sure we'll be able to finish all of the training this season. We will have to flex back and forth a bit, I think. The downside of this flexing back and forth is perhaps the profit potential of any player you would train on the 50% slots. It's hard to optimize for this profit. That's a consequence we will have to live with. Hopefully though, the flexing back and forth will increase our performance and our profit potential from spectators instead. We'll see. It's the way we have to do it right now, and hopefully it will work out well for us. But that's the idea for now. On Wednesday we played Lovely Unicorns in the second round of Coppa Titano. I was really fearing a tough opposition in this matchup. Lovely Unicorns looked quite strong. Fortunately for us, they didn't come in a very strong formation this time around. We had chosen the wing attack approach once more, Divine plus 21, and we chose to attack down the right side here. This time hitting the weak defensive side of Lovely Unicorns. But also, as said earlier in the episode, we're also trying to form a bit of a pattern. Sometimes you form a pattern, sometimes you follow it, and sometimes you don't. Another pattern we could be forming would be to alternate between the sides. This time it made sense to attack in the right side again. They did come with a strong attack, but a clear advantage in the midfield proved too much of an advantage for our opponent in this one. A little problem with Sausage here picking up a second yellow for the season already, but other than that, it was just a perfect win. Really good for us. In the third round of the Coppa Titano, we are facing some real tough opposition, however. Untitled Chapter. Let's just take a look at this match. We have to remember the average players being above 28 also means that the TSI is reduced quite a bit already, and they are outclassing us in that category. Look at the wages. We are far behind here, and behind in form on a sub level, behind on stamina, and really behind on experience. This will be very, very troublesome match, and honestly I think round 3 might be the end of our cup adventure this season, but we'll see. Very strong team, Trinquis. Let's just take a look at the last match they played in the league to get an idea of the opposition strength. Marino Sharks, they've been in the top flight, I remember, winning 4-1 here. Very strong defense, fairly strong midfield, and starting ratings in the attack was alright, I suppose. This strong midfield, obviously they are playing it cool in the first match here, and they will be much stronger. I think they played to divine midfield ratings last season at some point, so yeah, these ratings may not look super impressive for a second division team, but this was only round 1 in the league and away from home, so I'll be honest, I'm not expecting too much from the third round in the cup. On Sunday evening, we played in the league against Montserrat FC. In the rain, we held them to a 2-2 draw, coming in a counter setup, and I think it might have been a bit surprising for the opponents on this evening because it was a counter in a 3-4-3, but we were able to raise our tactical level to 12, magnificent, and that let us convert 3 times, once for Trastulli in the 14th minute. He scored from a 54% chance. Then Montserrat equalized from a 29% chance in minute 23 before they took the lead in the second half from the right attack. Once again, 27%. 66 minutes into the game, we converted a counter attack for the third time, this time down the middle, and Volukis scored from that chance, 22%. Volukis keeping his good form up Unfortunately for us, we also got a yellow for Sausage, and that means he's out for the cup game. Quite problematic, to be honest, because that matchup would be difficult enough with him in the lineup. So no Sausage in that lineup, and that is a bit of a blow to our chances in the next round. In the league, we are now 6th with 2 points for 4 games. Next round we play AC Sabio Pendes, who won by 2 against Kumano Terme today. We get an updated view of their capabilities here. They're still very strong in defense and playing with side attacks. We'll see what we can do against a fairly strong defense. That's all for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video, or perhaps leaving a comment below in the comment section. Thank you for watching once more. Take care. Bye.